You're listening to Demon World with Jasmine Ass on Demon FM.
And we have Nick Plews, a man from many local bands, the Regenerators and 21 Armstrong Lane, but to mention a couple. And also we've got Philip, who's the lead guitarist with Nick. Hello, guys.
Good morning to you, Jazz. Good morning.
Hi. Welcome to Demon FM.
Thank you.
Tell us about your bands or the band. I'll let you choose which you prefer, Nick and Philip.
Yeah, no problem, Jazz. Thank you for the opportunity, firstly, of being on your show this
You're
morning.
welcome.
It's grateful to be here.
That's a pleasure.
Thank you. 21 Armstrong Lane is a four-piece local band with good Philip here, who's the guitarist with it. Predominantly Polish. I'm the token English guy in there that plays bass for them, and we play a little bit of rock music. It's all original stuff, and we've got great ideas, and probably be in the studio in January to record properly.
Fantastic.
And get an album together.
So, Polish band. Tell us a bit about that. Do you kind of have a lot of gigs for the Polish community, or is that just coincidental, or you just sort of mainstream and throw it out there?
I think it's a bit of both, to be perfectly honest with you, Jazz. Obviously, there is a big Polish contingent that would support the band, but that's not our mainstay, hopefully, of our fan base, and we'll let the music do the talking with that, hopefully, when we record the album. But perhaps you'd like to say something like Philip about the Polish contingent.
To be honest, we just have a one gig on the Polish community, and now we just focus on the gigs and the pubs and stuff like that.
Yeah. So what's your music about? Is it sort of stuff that you see in everyday life, or is there something that kind of
everyday struggling, everyday whatever,
the working life, the strife
life
of living. Nothing too doomy and gloomy, but there's a bit of humour injected in there as well. But yeah, it would just be general observations about everyday life and living, really.
Also, I'm quite intrigued about the name of the band, 21 Armstrong Lane. To me, it kind of sounds like something out of America, Tell us, where does that name come from? Does it have a meaning?
I'll leave that one to Philip.
Oh, it is. It's a bit tricky for me because Matt's supposed to be here, which is our lead singer, because he made the name of it. The 21, it's because is lucky number, that is, and it's street name structure because all of us, expecting Mick,
except
we met on the one street, on the one studio.
Okay.
So he actually just stayed that all together.
Was that Armstrong Lane? Is that where the studio was?
No.
Right.
Armstrong Lane. I think that is again Matt's biggest idol. I think one of the punk rocks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because they have connections with Polish punk rock and rock
Right,
in
okay.
Poland. They were playing in bands in Poland.
So it's not actually an address then, 21 Armstrong
no.
Lane? Oh, right, okay. But there probably is a road called Armstrong
Probably,
Lane.
yeah.
Probably
we
number
didn't check
21.
It might be, yeah.
So please, listeners, don't harass the occupants of 21 Armstrong Lane. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about the Polish influence then. So is the music inspired by by the Polish? Or is it...
I would say we're inspired on the. I don't know. I think we just don't focus about and don't think about Polish or English influences.
Yeah.
We just mix it all together and making our own stuff.
Yeah.
From whatever we found it.
So which are some of the venues that you guys perform at locally?
The closest one, it's on Too Funky Music Cafe in
Oh,
Leicester
yeah.
on 21st of December.
That's the next gig.
Is it?
That's the
Yeah.
next thing,
Yeah.
yeah.
Playing with other bands there. There's quite a few bands playing there. And at the moment, it's all been predominantly local venues such as Duffy's Bar in town, Firebug.
Yeah.
And you played the Shed as well.
And
didn't
we
you?
had the opportunity. It was at the
Yeah.
Oxjam Festival. Yeah, we got the late slot on there, and we're grateful for that.
So yes, because it was on my list. I was supposed to cover you as part.
It would have been lovely to have seen you there, Kevin.
my
Maybe another
Music in
time.
Leicester, role. We were reporting on Oxjam,
Yeah.
so. But unfortunately, because you were late, I think I had to go and get me bus, which I hate to admit to. But that's just what it is. Oh, okay.
Anyway, enough talk. Let's see what the music actually sounds like. This is 21 Armstrong Lane, and she's stunning. That's our studio guest, 21 Armstrong Lane, and we've got Nick Plews, who also performs in other bands, and we've got Philip, who's the lead guitarist for 21 Armstrong Lane. And guys, that track we just played, can you kind of tell us what it's about? Is there a message in there?
Well, I'm not sure that Matt, our singer and guitarist, would thank me for saying it, but he's recently married.
Oh, okay.
And a song, She's Stunning, I think might be relevant to that.
Fantastic. Yeah, it all makes sense now. Okay, so we're going to move on. Also, sorry, Nick, before we move on, you're also going to tell us a little bit about another band you are with, which is the Regenerators. What sort of music do they do, and why are you in multiple bands? That kind of intrigues me.
Well, it's, to be honest, to answer the latter question, multiple bands. I've been gratefully given the opportunity to play in other bands, and loving music and local venues. It's a great way of just getting out and socialising and meeting people.
And your role in the two bands, is it the same?
I'm a bass player in both of them.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm the humble bass player.
Do you ever get sort of like a double booked? You know, do you have to kind of be in two places at the same time?
Having a great diary helps. Yeah,
fantastic.
So we're not clashing with the other bands. But if I may say, the Regenerators, Kevin Talbot, Scarman Steve, and Paul Tauke are the drummer in the band, and we're looking forward to playing at the Horse and Trumpet this evening from 8:30. That's in Wigston, playing a lot of ska, punk, mod, and oi cover music. And we're going to be loud and proud there tonight. So if anybody's around, please come out and see us. It'd be great.
Fantastic. Where can listeners get information about both bands, the Armstrong Lane and the Regenerators?
Through the usual social media sites would be the way, with the Facebook pages for both of them. And if people would like to get on there, maybe give us a like if you like the music, and have a look at the music vids that are on there. And there's quite a few for both bands on there.
Okay. And we're now going to bring Ali Reynolds in, who's not a musician, but she does some really, really important and great work for the homeless. Hi, Ali.
Hi.
Hi. Ali, if I can just ask you to move a little bit closer to the microphone. Oh. These microphones like to be up close and personal. Ali, tell us about some of the work that you do for the homeless. It's clearly very important, particularly at this time of the year, you know, when it's the season of goodwill, when the weather's really cold. I guess, you know, that makes it that much more important and, you know, relevant as well, if you like.
It does, but I like to do something all year round because they're not just homeless at Christmas.
Sure.
So, yeah, I know it's more important because the weather's so cold. And basically, handing out sleeping bags, warm clothing, making sure they've got food, you know, hot food especially, and just generally making sure they're, you know, okay. Any health problems, we sort of try and direct them to the right places.
And you mentioned there that you hand out things. Where do you get these things from? Have you got sort of contacts or
the general public? I just advertise on Facebook, and people, you know, are so kind and generous, and you'd be surprised what they can find in their cupboards that they don't wear anymore. And we have there's a company from Bolton recently donated 200 pairs of socks, gloves
Fantastic.
And hats, which was really handy for us for this year for the shoebox appeal.
I presume all the stuff needs to be washed and cleaned and reasonably good condition.
Yeah, we don't take anything. They have to be good quality.
Yeah.
Obviously, anything we do it gets checked before it gets sent back out again.
And have you got sort of a Facebook or website where people can kind of connect with that and see if if they've got things they want to donate?
Yeah, there's Help the Homeless in Leicestershire and the UK page on Facebook, or they can contact me, Ali Reynolds, on Facebook.
I was going to say, do you know Helena Hughes? We had her on a couple of months back. Yeah, she does a lot of Help the Homeless gigs, doesn't she?
She does the music side of it, doesn't she?
Yeah, that's it. So you're both sort of like connected, just doing opposite bits to it. Yeah.
Ali, how did you get into helping the homeless?
I was just in town one day, going back about 3 years ago, and just saw this man and his shoes were hanging off his feet, and I started crying. I thought, oh my God, people really live like this. I didn't realise how bad it was. And from there, I just sort of thought, I can do this.
Ali, you mentioned that you're doing a Christmas meal for the homeless. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, it's at the Square Bar on Churchgate on December the 13th. David Bakewell, who is the manager of the bar, he's kindly letting us use his pub. He's also doing the cooking, where there'll be a full Christmas dinner, table trimmings. We've got Father Christmas coming from London via the North Pole, of course, and he'll be handing out shoe boxes that have been wrapped and kindly donated by the general public. He'll be handing those out to the homeless on that day.
So just to be absolutely clear, so that meal is where, when, and it's open to anybody who's homeless?
It's open to anyone who's homeless or in genuine need. And it's December the 13th, which is next Wednesday, at the Square Bar on Churchgate, also known as Vertigo, and it's from 12 till 3. Fantastic.
Let's move on. You guys have also, well, this is where we bring Nick back in terms of the fact that you're releasing a charity single.
That's correct, Jazz, yeah.
Okay, can you tell us about that, Nick?
Yeah, I'll make it very brief for you. The lovely Ali Reynolds here contacted, put a message out, any local musicians would like to help with some music. So I had a few songs kicking around in my head, got a few local musicians together and recorded the song Flip Flop Rock is the name of the band. It's an amalgam of different musicians with the title track called Cockney Rejection. It's basically a Jilted John type song, and we tried to make it sound sort of 1970ish, punkish in sound. And all, as Ali quite rightly said, every single penny that is raised, it's £1.50 to get a copy if anybody would like it. We've already raised about 180 quid, I think, so far, Ali, is that right?
Yeah, it's about 180 it stands, yeah.
With that one, it's been out for just over a week and a half, something like that, 2 weeks, and if we could try and get around 250 or more, obviously that would be great, to help those less fortunate than us over Christmas.
And how do people get hold of it? And
you can contact me on Facebook, Ali Reynolds, or my email address is alireynolds666 @yahoo.com.
666. Flip Flop Rock. I think you've got a bit of a fetish with flip flops.
How do you know that, Kevin? You know too much about me.
Your Facebook friend. All I seem to see is flip flops everywhere.
I
don't seem to have any on today though.
I don't think it's quite the weather for it today, but if you care to come down to the Horse and Trumpet this evening, you'll certainly see me sporting a fine pair whilst popping around.
Yeah.
No, to be honest with you, it's just a bit of a laugh. It's not taking the mickey out of anything and not pertinent. It's just a ridiculous image I've created to go with the music, and hence branding the single Flip Flop Rock.
Nick, who's some of this amalgam of musicians? Let's give them a mention.
Well, I'm very, very grateful to everybody that took part. One of the guys, the guitarist on the track, is a guy called Colin Bennett, who plays with a local band called The Glory, who have been around for quite some time and have got a massive gig coming up at Rebellion, as have another local band called B Squadron. I'd like to promote them as well. They're both local bands, both good bands, going on bigger and better things that we're playing at Rebellion. So we've got Colin Bennett, the guitarist, Paul Talkie-Bolger, who's the Regenerators drummer, who kindly gave us his time to put the drum track down, and also Kevin Talbot, who kindly gave us the time. He's also the Regenerators guitarist, and he also plays with B Squadron. As I said, I'd like to give a big shout out to them boys and wish them well with their record deal, I think, that they've got next year with Rebellion Records.
Fantastic. So Nick, with the single, do all the proceeds go to charity? How does that work?
Every single penny that's done. I funded the album on a shoestring and with grateful help of local friends. We recorded it on an Apple Mac. Put it straight through with a package that a guy called Paul Trunkfield, who makes videos for a living, kindly donated his time for that. And we recorded the drums in Fleckney Brass Band Village Hall.
Wow.
You know, just by dangling some microphones in front of the drum kit there. So it was everything down on a budget. I funded it, but that aside, hopefully people like it and go out there and buy it and support the local charity. That's what it's all about.
Fantastic. And just remind us again, where can people get the single?
You can contact me on Facebook, Ali Reynolds, or you can contact Nick as well on Facebook.
Yeah.
And my email is alireynolds666 @yahoo.com. And I'd just like to say thank you so much to Nick and the guys that donated it for us.
Fantastic. We're going to play the single in a moment when we conclude our chat with you guys today. Ali, a couple of things just before we do that. Can you tell us about your sleepouts and any of the other work that you do with the homeless?
Last Monday we did a sleep out on the streets. We started at 4 o'clock outside City Hall, to try and get the attention of Peter Soulsby. However, he wasn't available, and we only managed to do till midnight due to the fact I've got an ear infection. And I also ended up in A&E at about 2 o'clock in the morning because of my ear infection. So,
But even so, in these temperatures, that's still some going, isn't it?
yeah, we did 8.5 hours and we raised £350.
Blimey.
So,
That's amazing.
yeah, it was really good.
And you're sitting on the pavement like the whole, with homeless people.
We had some homeless people stop by and chat with us. We handed out some gloves and socks and things to a real sort of sad guy that he said he couldn't remember when he'd last changed his socks, and that broke my heart. And yeah, it was cold and it started to snow, and so by 12:30 we decided to call it a night. So.
Finally, Ali, can you tell us where the homeless can go for help in Leicester?
Yeah, there's on a Tuesday night there's the City Retreat on Churchgate. That's from 6 till 7, where they can get hot drinks, sandwiches, crisps, fruit, things like that, and have a chat with us. Wednesdays on Leicester City Market, and that's 6 o'clock as well, and they get hot food. And obviously there's all the Christmas dinners going on over Christmas. Also, I'd like to mention the 21st of December at the Square Bar. And that's being run by David Bakewell, who's actually hosting that party. There's all the churches. There's a lot of different churches that do something. The Salvation Army, the YMCA. There is quite a lot of help in Leicester, but it's all charity run. So nothing by Leicester City Council.
Fantastic. We're going to have to conclude the chat, guys. So, sorry, we could talk for a lot longer. What I'll do in a moment, I'll ask Nick to introduce the single just before we play it. Ali, really important the work that you do. So thanks for doing that and all the effort that you're putting in. And I'm sure it is making a difference. And keep up the good work. Philip, thanks for coming in from the band.
Thank you much.
And Nick, if you thank you as well.
Thank you,
and,
Jazz, and Kevin.
We look forward to you coming back on the show in the future and perhaps performing some live music for us.
If given the opportunity, we'd love to do that in the new year with Armstrong Lane with some original stuff. That'd be great. Thank you.
Fantastic. And keep us up to date with how things are going for you guys. So if you could introduce a single, and thank you all for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Thank you once again.
Well, to the good people of Leicestershire, then flip flop rock. I can't even speak this morning. I'll put my teeth in. Good God. Would kindly like to present to you Cockney Rejection. I hope you like it, and please support the charity.
All dressed up, ready to go, waiting for the bird to come over. It's 9 o'clock and still no show. She's blown me up for another. Put your best foot forward, put your chin up, son. March on regardless and have some fun. Just like Bessie, another one will come along. I'm down the pub when in she walks, arm in arm with a geezer. I give my eyes a right old treat. She's all dolled up as a teaser. Jukebox on, putting some smash. Rejects playing out loud. Bad man's next, me peckers up. East End, London and proud. Put your best foot forward, put your chin up, son. March on regardless and have some fun. Just like buses, another one will come along. the club, he's in the dock, a 5-year stretch all told. Karma's bitten him on the rump, justice best served cold. I've forgotten who owns this retail line. She's now well history, it's by the by. No cares given, and that's just the way it goes.
Show me the way to go home. I'm tired and I want to go to bed. I had a little drink about an hour ago and it's gone straight to my head.
And that all kind of leads us nicely and neatly on to our next guest here, local musician Tanni Browne. Hello, Tanni.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming on the show. Tanni, tell us about your music, because I know you've got a sort of some stuff that you do around Bob Marley, and then you've got your own music. Can you give us a bit of an insight into all that?
Yes, for those that don't know, my name is Tanni Browne, and locally I do a tribute to Bob Marley show, stroke reggae show.
Which I'd just like to say is absolutely fantastic, having seen them a couple of times myself.
Thank you very
I love
much.
all your mannerisms you do as well in the chat. It's great. Absolutely fantastic show. Anyway,
thank you very much.
That's all right.
That's given me a boost. I must be doing something right. But yeah, I take the show around the country basically. As well, in the show I incorporate old school reggae classics, and I do some of my own songs as well. You know, but it's predominantly a tribute to the king of reggae music, from the Sunshine Isle of Jamaica, the Honourable Robert Nesta Marley. I'm just so used to saying that because.
Tanni, do you try and imitate Bob in the way you sing, or do you try and put your own style on it?
I don't try to imitate him. I've grown up with Bob Marley's music from before he was famous out in the mainstream world. A lot of us grew up with the music of Bob Marley and the Wailers from when he was at Studio One and when he was with Lee Perry before he came out with songs like Exodus and Jammin'. You know, he was known as, well, they were known, the Wailers were known, they were rebels, you know, as entitled one of their songs, Rebel Music, 3 O'Clock Roadblock. They were rebels at the time, you know, and so they brought a lot of upliftment to people in the ghetto, because Trenchtown is one rough place to grow up in.
Tanni, which is a song that you get asked to play the most when you do your gigs, and which is your own personal favourite, if they're not the same?
Oh gosh, that's a difficult one, because I get that all the time, you know. I mean, there's so many, you know, for all different reasons, you know, because I don't even know where to start to tell you, because there's so many.
Something to choose from, yeah.
Yeah, there's just so many to choose from, you know, so many that I do love. But I do say in my show that when I'm about to do Steer It Up, people, and it's true, people do ask me this question, you know, what's your favourite Bob Marley and the Wailers song? And I got to say that Steer It Up it's near the top, you know, but but there's just numerous songs, you know, there's just many songs that, you know, some people, I mean, when I do my show, sometimes I get asked for songs a lot of the time that I don't do.
Yeah.
Simply because, not because I don't know them, but because it's getting the backing tracks for them, you know.
Right.
So, you know, so you get a lot of the mainstream, you know, popular ones.
Did you perform solo?
Perform solo and perform with a band as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tanni, we're going to play one of your own pieces of music called "Can't Get You Out of My Head."
Yes.
What's this song about?
Yeah, I get asked this a lot too. But basically, it's about you know, a guy or a girl you meet somebody, you know, and you know, they kind of click, that magic.
Is it based on personal experience?
Well,
so is it your own ex-girlfriend or
well,
girlfriend?
I try to put myself in people's shoes sometimes. Not always my personal experience, but it's something that I'm sure most people have experienced, where they've met somebody and, they've gone out for a date and everything seems to be, going really good, and, you can't wait for the next date, and you're excited and you tell your friends, well, I've met this girl, blah, 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 or vice versa, I've met this guy, and, we're going to meet up again. So basically that's what it's about, a bit of, the magic of love.
Not just for the weekend. Yes, I told everybody that I've got to see you again. Lord, I better count to 10, but first I gotta see you. I can't get you out of my head. I can't get you out of my mind. I can't. Well, I can't get you out of my mind. You've got a zest for life with a spirit that is oh so pure. Oh so pure. I've noticed that right from the start. For me, you gotta be the cure. The cure for my lonely heart. With one I can share a part. Share a part of my life. But first I gotta see you. I can't get you out of my head. I can't. No, I can't get you out of my mind. No, I can't. No, I can't. Well, I can't get you. Let's do it all over again. I wanna be more than friends, not just for the weekend. Yes, I told everybody that I've got to see you again. Lord, I better count to 10, but I've gotta see you. I can't get you out of my head. I can't, no, I can't get you out of my mind. No, I can't. No, I can't. Well, I can't get you. I can't get you out of my head. I can't get you out of my mind. I can't. No, I can't. Well, I can't get you out of my mind. I can't get you out of my head. I can't. No, I can't get you out of my mind.
That's Tanni Browne, Can't Get You Out of My Head, and we've got Tanni in the studio. And Tanni, tell us a little bit about the gigs that you do. What sort of venues do you perform at? Have you got what have you got coming up in the near future?
Well, I do all sorts of venues. I do a lot of private parties and weddings, restaurants, pubs and bars. In fact, I'm going to be at the Harvester next Thursday up at Meridian,
Okay.
8 o'clock. So if you fancy something, nice to eat and, nice surroundings And of course, sweet reggae music.
Yeah.
You know,
nice.
hitting it with some Bob Marley, a tribute to Bob Marley. Then come on down to the Harvester next Thursday from 8 o'clock. I'll be there.
Kevin,
and,
that's just, you can walk there from your house, can't you, Kevin?
I can indeed, yes, I might see you there. So you'll actually be performing when people are eating, or do they generally stop
yes,
and then
people will be
perform?
eating, but you know, I always do my best as well to encourage people to get up and dance as well,
Yes.
because reggae music, you can't just sit down and listen to
No,
reggae music, man. You
not
got to
to
get
your
up and.
Tanni, your connection with the Marley family is strong in two ways. Let's talk about those. The first one is, have you ever been to a Bob Marley gig?
Oh yes, in
Yeah.
1980, sorry, the year before he passed away. I went to go and see him with a couple of friends of mine from the band we used to play in Leicester called Groundation. We went to go and see Bob Marley, and what an experience.
Well, where was that?
That was in Bingley Hall, Stafford,
Fantastic.
and it was like a football pitch.
Yeah.
Massive place, and it was just a fantastic night. That's all I can say. You know, there's 3 shows in my life that I put at the top. There's
Yeah.
Bob Marley's number 1 for live. You know, Bob Marley's number 1. Black Uhuru, Michael Rose and Black Uhuru, which I might add, I'm going to be supporting Michael Rose in February the 8th, February the 9th, sorry, at the Music Cafe.
Fantastic.
Yes. And it was Earth, Wind and Fire. Those 3 shows there are just the best shows I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it was sad to hear about Morris passing away, wasn't it? From Earth, Wind and Fire.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're
Yes.
obviously very impressed with your Bob Marley experience. Do you try and bring elements of his show into your show, or do you just try and be...
Well, you know, I don't try and copy him. I just do it as me, you know, so to speak, as Tanni Browne.
Yeah.
I don't try to sound like him, although sometimes some people do say, well, you look like him, you know.
Well, that's
But,
what I always think. I mean, there's a photograph of you and his son, aren't they, together? And I think
Yes.
Yeah, tell us about his son,
facial
because you met, which son was it you
Julian. I met Julian Marley, yes.
met?
yes.
He came to Leicester, didn't he? Yeah.
He came to Leicester at the Music Cafe to a capacity crowd. Unfortunately, I was working that night. I was doing somebody's birthday party, but as soon as I finished, I rushed straight down there and got to meet him. You
Yeah,
know.
I actually did an interview with Julian when he came for that show, and
Yes.
well, I'll play that again for the listeners sometime, because it's one of these interviews that kind of never ages.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Tanni, is there anything else that, you know, about your music that you think our listeners would be interested to?
Well, in 2018, we don't have a date yet, but the first track you heard, Can't Get You Out of My Head, that's coming from my forthcoming album that's already been released. It's up on iTunes. Just put in Tanni Browne iTunes and you'll see that come up.
Tanni being T-A-N-N-I or -I.
Yes.
So with or without the hyphen?
Very precise.
So is it without the hyphen?
It's with.
With,
TANN dash capital I.
Tanni, I know vinyl has you know, made a revival and so on, and I know dub plates and so on are strong in the world of reggae.
Yes.
How relevant is vinyl still in the world of reggae music?
Oh yes, vinyl is still very relevant. You have some sound systems that only play vinyl, you know.
Yeah.
And but you know, in the new year I'll be doing a limited edition vinyl. And by the way, my album is called Rebel Soul, and we've not got a date yet, as I say, but there'll be a look in the press, because there'll be a couple of releases, reggae music, and a track called Signs, which I've got 2 local rappers from Leicester collaborating with me on that track, Signs. One wicked track when you hear it. When you wait till you hear it. So you'll have to get me in again to
Absolutely.
in the new year to, you know, get a touch of that, you know.
Tanni, I'm going to definitely try and pop down and see your show at the 2 Funky Music Cafe that you mentioned.
Yes.
Finally, where can listeners get more information about you and your music?
Well, check me out on Facebook, Tanni Browne. Twitter, Tanni3 Browne.
Is that with or without the hyphen?
That's without the hyphen, because
the
they
hyphen.
wouldn't let me put the hyphen in on Facebook. You know, so but yeah, just contact me on Facebook and find out where I'm going to be locally. I do a lot, as I say, I do a lot out of town. I'm up and down the country. I'm in London tonight in Cricklewood. I'm kind of all about, but you know.
And I presume when you do your Bob Marley shows,
Yes.
you also play some of your own music.
Yes, I do. I do. As I say, it's a tribute to Bob Marley stroke reggae show.
Ah, yeah.
So I do some old school reggae classics, songs that people will know, and I also, you know, put in some of my own songs as well, which like that last one there, Can't Get You Out of My Head, goes down very well every time.
Tanni, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. We're going to play out with another one of your tracks called Reasons to Love You.
Yes.
As I say, it's been fantastic having you in the studio, and we'll hold you to that promise that you'll be back again in the near future.
Yes.
And we may even get you performing for us as well. You know,
No problem.
Fantastic. So,
No problem.
Can you announce the track that you've chosen and tell us a little bit about it?
Well, the track is another Lovers Rock track. On the album, there are a selection of lovers. There's the title leading track, Rebel Soul, is a semi-acoustic track. Can't wait for you guys to hear it. And then I've got what we call some roots and culture tracks. So there's a mix. But this song here is called Reasons to Love You, and it's definitely for the ladies. And, you know, because as Bob Marley say, you know, I learned this from Bob Marley. Bob Marley said, sometime we have to sing love songs, you know. You know, sometimes we have to sing love songs, and it's because I never used to sing love songs.
Fantastic, Tanni. It's been a pleasure, and we look forward to you coming back on the show again.
Thank you very much, listeners. Please enjoy Blessed Love, One Love, Tanni Browne says so.
Oh, na 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 na, ooh. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Oh, na 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 na, ooh. And you are my queen, yeah, yeah. Well, if I'm telling the truth and I'll never lie, you're always on my mind, thinking what you are doing and where you are. You're truly one of a kind. Yes, you're my queen, you're my bona fide, you're my empress for life. I sing praises for you from the mountaintop. Without you, I have no life. Yeah. You give me more reasons to love you. Yes, you do. Yeah. You give me more reasons to love you. Honest, you do. You're always on my mind. You know you rock my world. The little things you do show why love is true. Yeah, yeah. Well, if I'm telling the truth, I'll never lie. You mean the world to me. Knowing that you are near and by my side, there's so much that we can achieve. Well, if I've told you once, I'll say 1,000 times. You are my empress for life. Without you, there'd be emptiness and strife. Without you, I'd have no life. Yeah. You give me more reasons to love you. our love is true. You make me feel like a king, and you are my queen. Yeah, you give me more reasons to love you. Honest, you do, yeah. Yeah, you give me more reasons to love you. Honest, you do, yeah, yeah, yeah. You're giving me the reasons every time, yeah.
You're listening to Demon World with Jasmine Us on Demon FM.